Namaskar. Welcome to Conversations with Rakesh. Here's today's question. Sir, I'm a fresher. I'm confused about choosing my passions or a regular career job. What should I do? Our work and our careers are such an important part of our life. And when we are just coming out of our college into the business and professional world, the choices in front of us can be very overwhelming and very confusing and could cause a lot of anxiety. The biggest problem many of us face, including me, is that we really don't know what to do. And then we hear these words like choose your passion and then some motivational talk that follow your heart and everything will fall in place. And then the reality that, this passion and dream and all this won't run your house. So get a proper job and get some salary and secure yourself. So your mind does go through a lot of confusion and becomes overwhelmed. And when I was a fresher, I too had the same problems. So let's take a look at this problem slightly differently, and I'll give you some suggestions which are also there in my podcast called the Plunge Podcast. One of the things I request all freshers out there who are thoroughly lost in what to do next is that it is absolutely okay to be in that situation. There's nothing wrong. Confusion is a very big part of curiosity. It leads to various experiments. But please remember that the age you are in is also going through a lot of turmoil. There's COVID 19 everywhere. There are serious economic issues everywhere. So you will be conflicted and pressured to make the right choices because you might think that if you don't make the right choice, it will be very hard on your future. But please remember that this age requires you to go through this process. Then you will be torn between multiple points of your life. A point where you love doing something, like, for example, you love ripping apart robots, devices, and whenever there's a TV show, you just want to work on that and watch that, and that's your passion. But then there is a career or a job that is in front of you, which is about UI design and connected to AI and some coding and Python and data analysis. And there's a great job in a great company. And then you might have some interests like you love to travel. And you look at these travel websites and bloggers and influencers which are coming up, and you want to be that as well. So you have multiple interests, multiple opportunities, multiple options, and you're confused what to do about them. So here are two, three suggestions for you. Suggestion number one, that instead of focusing too much on passions and careers, change these two words to a slightly different word, which is what's your interest? What excites you? What brings you alive? And go and do that. If it's travel, fine, go and do that. If it's robots, go and do that. And if it's AI and UI programming, please go and do that. And do all of them because the more you experiment with these interests, the more information and better suited you'll be to make certain choices. Right now, the anxiety and overwhelming attitude is coming because you're confused, because you don't have any data to make any decision. So go and experiment. And there's a great book written by David Epstein called Range, and he talks about doing multiple things, failing, trying, because that gives you a lot of ideas on how to build a better career. So go and follow your interests, go and follow anything that excites you, go and find out what brings your life and pursue it. The second suggestion is give this phase a lot of time. You are a fresher, you need to first become skilled, and skills take 10,000 hours to develop, maybe more. And this is about 5 to 10 years of non-stop investment. So please pick up some area where you're very good at, and there are theories to explain it. Once you're very good at something and it challenges you, you can also look at your flow and zone, and I've talked about it in my podcast as well. So take a listen to my podcast where I explain the zone, but it's very hard to reach there. So the 10,000 hour helps you go there, that if you're excited about it, then you will go through this painful process. Sometimes when you're very passionate and when you are disappointed, The disappointment can be equally harsh, and you might abandon your passions, which is why follow your interests. That's a much more lighter path. And you can follow many interests and start giving 10,000 hours to that scenario. Many students feel that if you follow passion, everything is rosy. And if you follow career based jobs, it's very boring. That's not true. It's a myth. Even passion based jobs can be very boring and very frustrating. But the idea is that if you're interested in them, if you're excited in them, and if they make you come alive, you'll never give them up. So follow the 10,000 hour rule and keep hammering at it. And the last, passions, careers, work are fine, but in that whole process, don't forget life. There is a lovely movie called The Soul, which is about a person trying to find out what to do, and he's very good in singing, jazz music, but he also has a great job as a teacher, and he's conflicted what to do. So there's this lovely storyline where the storyline tries to tell him that whether you are a teacher or you're a jazz musician, that's fine, but you're missing out this beautiful gift given to you, which is life. So look around you. I think there's so much to enjoy. So don't get too myopic with careers and passions. Expand your horizons, follow your interests, and take multiple ranges. Give it 10,000 hours, and don't forget the gift of this beautiful life given to you. Enjoy it, because when you combine these thoughts, then you'll be able to make a much more informed choice and have a meaningful career.